sick. So we already know what is diabetes, more or less. It's something that affects our process of insulin. If I don't have insulin, or if my insulin is not good enough, I'm not going to get energy. It is a rough definition. Good. According to the problem with insulin, we may have two types of diabetes. Please, next. Two types of diabetes. It is a major group. There are other types of diabetes, and we're going to talk about only two. First group, type number 1, is the diabetes we have when we are younger, when we are a child, and it happens when the factory of insulin doesn't work. It stops. No insulin at all. It happens usually in children, right? Or in young people. And you cannot do nothing. It happens, and you onset, you start with diabetes, so you have to get it from an injection. This is type 1. And it is about 10% of the population with diabetes. 10% of the people who have diabetes have diabetes type 1, right? But the big group is type 2. Type 2. This is the major group of people with diabetes. It happens when we have insulin, we still have some insulin working in our body, but it is not good, or it is not enough. Our body has a resistance to the insulin, so we don't get all the energy, all the sugar, all the glucose we need. There is a problem with my insulin. Okay? Please, one question or two. No question? Perfect. Diabetes type 2. This is a type of diabetes we can take actions. We can do things before it happens or when it has happened. In diabetes type 1, we only have to control medicine and with a good eating habit, with practicing exercise, but we cannot do anything to prevent it. Right? We cannot stop it before it happens. But we can take many actions before type 2. We know what's the problem, but what actions can we do? What can I do as a very perfect person with 16, 17 years old? What can I do about diabetes? What can I do if I have in my family some relatives have diabetes? What can I do to help them? Or what can I do? I have no diabetes type 1, but maybe someone in my family, my grandparents, have diabetes, so I am in a risk of having diabetes. What can I do to stop it? What can I do to avoid having diabetes in the future? It was me yesterday evening. I went out with some friends, but only with one. I didn't have any friends. We went out for dinner. We had some red wine and another drinks. So I got into my new car and I had this accident. It is not my fault. It is because another guy were driving and he didn't stop. So we had a crash. Look at the picture, please. We have a lot of people working in the picture. We have an ambulance, we have the fire brigade, we have police. Many people working. The road, signals in the road. Who is the responsible of the crash? Who do we have to put the blame on? Think about it.
Driver.
The driver. In most car accidents, it is the driver's responsibility. So if you have to put the blame on someone, if you have to think who is guilty, it is the driver. It is his responsibility. And in diabetes, it is my responsibility as well. If I have exercise, if I eat properly, if I take my medicines, I will not have any problem with diabetes. And if I look after myself, if I practice some sport, even when I'm 16 or 17 years old, it's a diet, you are not going to have any problem at all. If you want, I would say that in Chinese or in Spanish, but it is your responsibility. Yes? Please, everybody? Yes? 10% of the people.
Doing exercise?
Good food.
Raise your hands, please.
Doing exercise?
That's okay. Exercise means doing strong exercise every day. Do you have to go to run for 2-3 hours a day? No. It just means 3-4 days a week, and it is important not to stress the exercise. It is enough with just walking or jogging. It is good. What is important is that we cannot be a calf potato. Calf potato? You know, the person who is in front of the TV with the remote control, eating and watching TV. Stop it. It is the worst thing to do about life. They are putting on exercise. So we have to control our weight. Controlling our weight means practicing sports, watching TV, practicing sports, controlling what we eat, and that's all. Right? And next. Look. To learn, to know how you have to do, to take my medicines, so I can stop problems to appear. But it's not a very big amount of people.
So the Canary Islands, the main problem is the secondary effects of diabetes.
Yeah. In the Canary Island and in the world. The effects of a not well-controlled diabetes. The pills and the insulin. I have the information. What else do I have to do? I only have to do it. Right? It is important. I have to take that responsibility. It is my health. Come on. Do you know any famous person with diabetes? I have diabetes. I have had diabetes for 40 years, and I have no problem. Okay, I have a lot of problems. My car, I have to pay a new one, my family.